The first fact about Liverpool is that without its rival, Everton, it would not exist. In 1892, John Houlding was the president of Everton and also the owner of the Anfield Stadium, which since its foundation in 1884 was used by the Blues. At a certain point Houlding warned the other Everton managers that it would increase the rent of the stadium. Indignant with the increase, a total rupture between the parties was inevitable. So Anfield was left behind and Everton moved to their new home, Goodison Park. Now a stadium owner and without a team, John Houlding solved his problem easily, and on July 3, 1892, he created his own team, Liverpool Football Club. 2. Since its inception, Liverpool has always had a strong Scottish influence. As soon as John Houlding decided to found the club, he went to Scotland and signed 13 players from the country. The fact is that in all its history Liverpool has never been champion without having a Scottish player in the squad. 3. The first game in its history took place on September 1, 1892, the game ended 7-1 for Liverpool against Rotherham Town at Anfield. 4. The player who most wore the Liverpool shirt, and who will hardly exceed one day, was the English midfielder, Ian Callaghan, with 857 appearances. He played for the Reds from 1960 to 1978. Already the top scorer is the Welsh striker, Ian Rush, who had 2 passages through Liverpool. The first was from 1980 to 1987, and the second passage in 1988 to 1996. He scored 346 goals for Liverpool. 5. Known as the Reds, Liverpool, during the first 4 years of its life, wore blue and white uniforms, the colors of its rival Everton, which coincidentally, from 1890 to 1892 wore red. It was in 1896 that Liverpool wore a red shirt for the first time. They combined these shirts, white shorts. For 68 years the Liverpool uniform kept the red on the shirt but with white shorts and socks with variations of red and black and red and white. Only in 1964 the legendary Bill Shankly, technician who rescued the club from the second division to glory, had the idea of changing the white shorts and socks for the red ones, thinking about the psychological impact it could have on opponents. For him, red sent a message of danger, of power, and we have to agree that the change worked very well. 6. In all its history, only 21 different technicians passed through Liverpool on 2 occasions. The club was commanded by 2 technicians at the same time, the Englishman, Barclay, and the Irishman, John McKenna, in 1892 to 1896, and the duo consisted of an Englishman, Roy Evans, and a Frenchman, Gerard Houllier. And it only lasted 1 season, the 1998 season. 7. The derby between Liverpool and Everton is known as the Merseyside Derby. The name of the confrontation is a reference to the river that crosses the city, the Mersey River. The 2 clubs became the biggest winners of the English Championship until the 1990s when were run over by United. This classic is also known as the Friendly Derby, translating, the Friendly Classic. Since the fans treat each other with cordiality and even though it is a classic of the brothers, no other confrontation produces more red cards than this one in the history of the English Championship. 8. Many people think that the first football game broadcast in colour was in the 1970 Cup, but in fact the first game broadcast in colour was Liverpool's 2-0 victory over West Ham on November 15, 1969, game valid for the English Championship. 9. Kenny Dalglish was the first player-manager in professional English football to serve as striker coach for Liverpool for 5 years. The club won the Premier League 3 times and the English Football League Cup twice. 10. The biggest executioner in the club's history is Manchester United. Against the Red Devils, Liverpool came out with victories in just 32% of the matches they played. Their best win record against clubs currently playing in the Premier League is 73% against Watford. 11. 6 times champions of the Champions League, Liverpool is the English team with the most Champions titles, even so it never managed to win the World Cup. gave way to Borussia Mönchengladbach, who lost the title to Boca Juniors. In 1978 there was no game precisely because the champion teams in both Europe and America withdrew due to lack of calendar dates. Since the times they participated they lost to Flamengo in 1981 and for the Independiente of Argentina in 1984. In 2005 already with the name of a world of clubs it was surpassed by Sao Paulo, and with that it is the biggest vice of the world's. 12. Michael Owen was the youngest Liverpool player to feature for the England senior team aged 18 years and 59 days. 13. The biggest defeat in the book happened against Strømsgodset from Norway for the UEFA Champions Cup in 1970 for the Reds stuck with 11-0. Yes, it hurts already. The biggest defeat in the history of the book happened against Birmingham City in 1954 in a second division match. Liverpool were thrashed 9-1. 14. Only 8 Brazilians in all history have played for Liverpool, the first of which was left-winger Fábio Aurelio, who was hired in 2006. The other Brazilians who played for Liverpool were midfielder Lucas Leiva, goalkeeper Diego Cavalieri and Doni, Felipe Coutinho, and currently in the squad, Fabinho, Alisson, and Roberto Firmino. Also remembering that Felipe Coutinho was the biggest sale in the history of Liverpool. So much for Barcelona's coffers, £142 million. 15. The famous demand sign that is at the entrance to the changing rooms. It was placed by Bill Shankly, and was intended to put fear in the opponents, and since then the players, when passing by it, give a light touch to bring luck in the game. Tradition was interrupted by Jurgen Klopp on his arrival at the club. He said that the players could only have the right to play there when they won the title for the club, and as everyone knows the players won that right with great style, being nothing less than the UEFA Champions League. If you liked this video please like and share.